Part of making the most amazing cup of coffee at home is grinding your beans. Most of the time, when people grind their beans, they're using very, very low-tech chopper-style grinders that really don't even grind the beans, they chop the beans. And you get some large particles and some tiny particles. And what that means is that you get uneven brewings, you get bitter flavors. So even if you did everything else right, the grind on the beans was not right. So what I recommend is that to make the best cup of coffee that's gonna taste the best and make you feel the best, you've gotta have good grinding technology. And one of my very favorite grinders, and one of the ones I use at home, is the Encore. Let me tell you why. The Encore is made with a 40 millimeter conical burr. A burr grinder grinds the coffee so that you get exactly even-sized particles. The problem is that most burr grinders grind very, very quickly, and that builds up a big static charge, so your coffee goes everywhere, but it also slightly singes the coffee. This grinder is special, and the reason we carry it on Bulletproof is that it has gears in it that slow the speed of the grind down to 450 rotations per minute instead of thousands. And what that means is that it keeps your beans cool. And cool beans are cool because they don't lose their flavors, and some of the most delicate oils remain intact. So let's take a look at how this thing works. The first thing you want to do to make the ultimate cup of coffee at home is to start with Bulletproof coffee beans. Bulletproof coffee beans are made to be free of the toxins that are common in coffee that cause the jitter and anxiety. They actually come from mold toxins that form during the green coffee formation process long before it's even roasted. So we lab test this coffee so that you know it's gonna taste good, but you also know you're gonna feel good when you brew it. So if you start with beans that are this carefully controlled, your grind should be this carefully controlled too. I store my beans in the Bulletproof AirScape canister because it protects them from extra oxygen. What I do is I take the beans and I measure them. This is a scale we also carry at Bulletproof, and I weigh exactly the amount of beans for the cup of coffee that I'm going to be making, or the pot of coffee. Next up, what I do is I add the right amount of beans to the grinder, and then I get to do my second favorite thing, which is set the grinder for the type of coffee that I'm going to have. Most home grinders don't support an espresso grind. The Encore does support very, very fine coffee, all the way up to coarse coffee. There's actually 40 different settings. So in this case, I'm going to be doing a French press, so I'm going to put it right about in the middle. Here I'm putting it at 26. Why? Because it's maybe better than 27. There's actually more settings than I need, but that's cool. And then I'm just going to turn it on. The Encore grinds about 1 gram of coffee per second. Then you just pull this out. And what came out here is a beautiful medium grind coffee with perfectly consistent sized particles. And that's what you want in order to make the best cup of coffee. And there you go. This is one of the finest coffee grinders you can possibly get at home, and I'm really pleased to offer it to you on bulletproof.com. One more thing. If you appreciate this kind of coffee, you appreciate this level of precision, how your coffee's ground, of course you're going to want to have a coffee mug that you can use to drink the most amazing coffee you've ever brewed at home. Of course you'd want to have a Bulletproof coffee mug, because if you're the kind of person who grinds your coffee with the amazing precision of this machine, you're my kind of person, and I'd love for you to have a coffee cup to go with your amazing coffee.